All right, thank you for your patience. We are now ready to consider the case of Mr. Kentrell Parker. Mr. Parker, can you hear me okay?
As well.
All right, would you tell us your name and DOC number, sir?
Control Parker, 37, 12, 12.
All right, Mr. Parker, and we're here today for consideration for a medical treatment furlough because you've been recommended for a medical treatment furlough. And you have your attorney there with you in Angola, Mr. Foster. Would you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, Matthew Foster. I'm here representing Kentrell Parker.
And we'd like to hear from you shortly, sir. We're going to get some information and then we'd like to hear from you. Let me just acknowledge here at headquarters, we have Mr. Michael Allen with the Promise of Justice and Mr. Rich Webster. Welcome. We appreciate you all being here. On Zoom, we have Mr. Norris Henderson who wants to be speaking. We'll call on him shortly. And then also there at Angola, we have family and friends, Ms. Kirka Parker, Samantha Pusho, Edward Johnson, and Janice Parker. First, before we hear from the medical staff, Mr. Parker, I'm going to read some identifying information into the record. You are classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a life sentence at Angola for a sentence of you were convicted in Orleans Parish in December of 1999 for a second-degree murder. Is that information correct?
As well.
All right. So we'd like to hear from the medical staff. Can you tell us about Mr. Parker's condition?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Kentrell, he's 47. And about, I think, February 19, 2010, he was involved in a cervical injury that basically left him quadriplegic. Since then, he's developed a neurogenic bladder that basically requires a chronic suprapubic cath, some constipation, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. But he's basically total care. He's going to need assistance 24/7 to feed and care for him and clean for him based on that injury about 15 years ago.
All right. Mr. Foster, is there anything you'd like us to know before we ask our questions of the medical staff?
No, I can defer to them to go over the medical information first before I speak.
Okay. And Mr. Henderson, what would you like us to know?
Good morning, Ms. Renassa, Ms. Ledoux, and Mr. Bowers. I was a Kentrell football coach. And for the last 20-something years, I've been, it's one thing a person gets hurt on the field, and the person on the sideline looking is kind of like traumatized by what they see also. I've been not just a family friend, but, I coached him for years. And so when this tragedy happened, it just took the wind out of us. It was the first time somebody actually got hurt playing intramural sports in the prison to this extent. And I just want the board to know that I have been trying, ever since I've been home, trying to do everything I can to help Kentrell's transition from the prison to here. I don't know how many conversations I've had with people, different wardens, secretary, even the governor, and trying to kind of like move this thing. Trell was a very athletic kid. And to see him the way he's been for the last, almost 2 decades now, it's just kind of like just heartbreaking. It's kind of really toils at me every day. I mean, every time I watch football, the minute somebody get hit, my first thought is Trell. And so I would just hope that this board, given what the doctor just said, that Trell is going to need 24/7 care. His mother's here, his sister, his family, and then his extended family. His extended family is all these guys who played ball with him that's going to be there to help this family deal with this. This is not like something that, you just wake up the next morning, it's like, oh, it's something I'm prepared to do. But I think given over the time that we have been struggling, trying to get Trail to this day, I think we've built up the resources that we need to be able to help Trail transition. Personally, I'm gonna do everything I can. Our organization, giving the resources that we have available, I would do everything to help this family, help Trail be as comfortable as he can be given his circumstance. What that looks like, I don't know. I think one of the assets that I also bring is that I'm a former hospice volunteer. So I know how to take care of patients. A lot of the guys that was on our team are former hospice volunteers that's home. And so we know what that care looks like. Because some of our guys, before we got out, we took care of Trail. And so it's not something that is something new to us. This is a kind of continuation of something that we had already done. So I would just hope and pray that this board really consider this medical release for Kentrell. Because again, it's like right now, he's really a burden to the state in the sense of somebody have to 24/7 care. It's not like he's just a regular patient on ward 2. He's a patient that needs all the patient care that he needs 24/7. And, given that, again, tragic accident, nobody planned for these things. But, always tell people that, man plots and plan, but God the best planner. So, we can't put this beyond, God know what he was doing. We're not questioning that. But I think it kind of like give us the opportunity now to do something that can kind of like not make him whole, but at least to kind of like rejoin him outside the correction environment where his family can actually provide him with the TLC that he actually needs. Not that he's not around friends that care about him, but to this other extended family of friends that can really help him. And first of all, I want to thank y'all for really just kind of giving me the latitude just to kind of like, just talk from the heart about Trail because, he's like my son, it's somebody you coach. I coached him for 10 years playing football. And it was kind of like this experience of camaraderie that we done everything together. From season to season, we wasn't playing football, we was playing softball. We wasn't playing softball, we playing volleyball. We wasn't playing volleyball, we playing basketball. And over those 10 years of me interacting with him, it's like I saw him like he was my son, And so it's just like I would really appreciate the board's deep consideration and, granting release to him today. And, it's just a challenge. It's a challenge for me just to see him in the state that he's in, knowing how talented he was and what he brought, not just to the athletic field, but, he's this outgoing, gregarious person. He was a fun person, And I kind of like just, it's just kind of like hard today to really just, I don't be honest with you. I've been a part of a lot of hearings, and I just don't know, be honest with you, is that what else I can do in this moment for him. I just don't. I really don't. And it's just kind of like this. It's just hard. But
we appreciate you spending time with us this morning, Norris.
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All
You're
right.
not to blame for the injury.
We're gonna, I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Byroff for any questions he may have.
I don't have any questions. The facts of the case speak for themselves. We got a recommendation from prison medical staff that medical treatment furlough was recommended, that the condition will not improve, that he will need complete nursing care for the rest of his life. I'm looking at the report from the victim assistance coordinator, where the victims, the deceased, did not want to participate, did not want to make a statement at this time. So we have no real opposition from the victim family. So I'm ready to vote whenever y'all ready to vote.
Okay, Mrs. Ledoux.
I would like to point out, Mr. Parker went to a nursing home previously, not long after the incident occurred, and then was returned to Angola. Can Mr. Parker address that?
Yes, ma'am. I was at a nursing facility and I made a bad decision. And I feel like a changed man. And I wouldn't make the same mistake that I made before.
Okay, I'm going to address one more thing. I'm doing this because I want you to recognize we have read this file. You had a write-up in 2020 because your mouth got you in trouble. Being ugly to one nurse,
Yes, ma'am.
that concerns me. Because you're going to be dependent on these people and you can be abusive to them verbally. You understand how that's not going to be acceptable?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Foster, anything you want to add?
Yes, I guess I would like to note that the particular statute that would empower the committee to grant furlough in this case would be Chapter 15, Section 574.20, in particular, subsection 2B, which defines limited mobility offender as someone unable to perform activities of daily living without help. That would be that would define Kentrell Parker. And the statute goes on to describe the conditions that should be met, that the offender is not a flight risk or a risk to public safety. Kentrell is not a flight risk or a risk to public safety, and the former write-ups that he has had wouldn't rise to the level of being a public safety risk in the sense that it should impact the committee's decision on furlough. Furlough is also revocable. So if there's a concern that something could happen in the future, the committee's decision today isn't permanent. So hopefully the committee will grant furlough. It'd be the right thing to do to ensure his medical care and also ease the burden on the prison and save the state money. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Foster. Now, we are considering, just to expand further for our viewers, the medical treatment furlough requires placement in a nursing or medical facility. It's not to go home to anybody. I think we're prepared to vote. Mr. Byron.
Mr. Parker, today I'm going to vote to grant your request for medical treatment furlough based on the fact that there's no strong victim opposition and that you're recommended by the medical staff.
This is legit.
Because you require complete assistance with ADLs and pose no public safety threat, my vote is also to grant to your medical furlough.
And I didn't ask Warden Benoit, is there a particular medical facility that you have worked out?
No, ma'am, they're waiting to hear from, they've contacted some nursing homes. Several have turned it down, but they're waiting to hear for some more.
Okay.
They turned it down because of this level of care, they couldn't provide it. Only place that we contact.
Okay. Well, my vote today also is to grant the medical treatment furlough upon, finding a suitable placement for his care. So,
We will be looking very hard.
okay, thank you. So, Mr. Parker, you've been granted a medical treatment furlough. Good luck to you.
Thank y'all.
All right.
So,